Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda Hammerly. I'm the Executive Director of the International Association of Insurance Professionals, and I'd like to welcome everyone to today's virtual town hall. If this is your first town hall, we welcome you and we are glad you're here. If you've attended before, thank you for joining us again today. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items and announcements. You will be on mute throughout the presentation. You can hear us, but we cannot hear you. If you would like to ask a question, please submit your question using the Q&A section in the control panel of your screen, and we will review questions as time permits. We are recording this session, and it will be available within 2 days on the IAIP YouTube channel. If you have found us on IAIP's YouTube channel, thank you and welcome. Thanks for watching. So without further ado, please help me welcome Lisa Harden, IAIP's President-elect, along with Brenda Buck, Regina Jackson, and Geraldine Plott. Thank you all for joining us today. Today, we're going to spend time learning more about IAIP's networking opportunity mastermind groups. So I'm going to turn it over to our panelists. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Amanda. Our mastermind groups are one of our best kept secrets, I want to say. It's getting better. We currently have 6 mastermind groups set up with about 6 to 10 members in each group. And if you caught your email today, our current Vice President, Janelle Thames-Leak, wrote a wonderful blog on mastermind groups today. And it was posted, and it basically tells you a lot of the same thing that we're going to tell you today. So the mastermind groups were set up to replace the mentor and protege program as a way to have small groups get together and provide both feedback and encouragement to our members in a close-knit community. A lot of members have seen these mastermind groups and they have loved them. They have been from local associations who have disbanded and find that meeting once a month with their mastermind group kind of replaces that monthly local association meeting. So if you haven't joined a mastermind group and you're currently a member at large, consider that as a reason to join. I've brought along my friends, Brenda Buck, Geraldine Plott, and Regina Jackson to share some of their experiences with their mastermind group. Brenda, why don't you tell us why you decided to join the mastermind group and how your experience has been so far?
Well, I started out in the pilot program and I wanted to learn more about it. I've been involved with Mastermind in another organization, and I thought that it was very helpful because if you can figure out what you want, you can ask for it, and the rest of the group can help you to get to where you want to be. By sharing your ideas and sharing what your goals are and sharing what you would like, sometimes that helps to make them come true. So I joined for that reason. Once I was a member of the first group that I was in and the pilot was done and we had our first group, I was in there with some people that had very high aspirations within the organization. And we decided right away that we like to have a topic of the month. And then I found the topics to be really interesting and I learned something every time. So I wanted to continue, and I've continued with that group. Then when we were having the last session that we had, we were looking for another group leader. And I said, well, I'll do that because I've been in a group, but I didn't want to leave my first group. So I'm actually in 2 mastermind groups. One, I'm a facilitator, and the other one, I'm what I would call just a member. And I enjoy that very much.
Great, thanks, Barb. Or Brenda, I'm sorry. Of course, nobody is just a member of any mastermind group. I kind of look at it as every member is a mentor and every member is a protege. We all have things we can pass along to each other and things that we can learn from each other. I did notice there was a question. If you're currently a member of a mastermind group and you like your mastermind group, when the open enrollment comes in October, you do not have to do anything. You can just stay with your same group. If you want to change groups, then you can note that in the registration. If you'd like to be a member of a second group, like Brenda did and lead it, that would be awesome. And just put that in your application as well. Geraldine, why don't you tell us about your experience? I believe you are a leader of one group. Is that correct?
Sort of a co-leader. Actually, I began with the pilot, and I was in that group, and it was the makeup was a little bit different from the group that I'm currently in. And we all bring something different to the table. So that, that was the difference. And it was an exciting experience to be in. I tell people that I joined because I'm just nosy. I want to see what's going on. I want to keep connected. I'm retired, and I've had other retired members say there's nothing left for me. And that's just not true. There's so much for you to do in IAIP and to be involved in. And one of them is in the mastermind group, because not only can you share your experiences, but you can help others. Sometimes somebody's maybe not quite as, I hate to use the word aggressive, but maybe they're not quite as upfront as some of us others might be considered. So just helping them to understand that we're all in this together. And if there's anything that we can do to help each other, that's great. Like Brenda, our second group has done topics. We have had topics from LinkedIn to, we had topic of insurance, life insurance, which is not an easy topic to navigate. But one of our leaders, Carrie Woods, does a great job with that. And she even had a program that she started, I think, right around convention time. It was the kidnap and ransom presentation that she helped put together, and I think that's been recorded too. I would encourage anybody and everybody to get involved. It's a way to keep connected, to make new friends, and to stay connected with those older friends.
A lot of times people ask about the commitment for a mastermind group. The commitment is 1 hour a month. My group tends to we rotate our meetings. So we have one meeting at 5:30 Central Time and one meeting at 11 a.m. Central Time. So essentially a lunch meeting and an after hours meeting, so that the people in our group can pick which one fits their schedule the best, because we all know that not everybody is going to be able to make a lunchtime meeting or an after work meeting. So the hours and the time when your meeting group is up, when your meeting is up to your group. Both Brenda and Geraldine mentioned that they had groups that did topics for each meeting. We have another mastermind group that is working through a self-help book. So it's almost like a mastermind book club. So they're reading a chapter and then discussing that chapter the next month. So that's another idea that can come out of a mastermind group. Regina, why don't you tell us about your experience?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the mastermind groups. I'm one of those people that I'm a joiner. And so when the opportunity to meet some people that aren't from my region arose, I decided that I wanted to get involved, see what it was about. I wasn't sure if it was going to be classes, if there was going to be homework, but I really like the group that I'm in. It's also the Carrie Woods group. And I love that our topics are different and general. And at times we have opportunities to ask questions. For instance, I was looking for ideas for membership meetings, and I was able to have a few minutes at one of these mastermind meetings, and I got some really great feedback. And so I was able to take that back to my local association and try some new things. So that's one of the things that I got out of ours, as well as we have done reading a book and sharing thoughts on that and discussing that.
So we kind of lost you there a little bit, Regina? Are you doing a book as well?
General conversations.
All right. So how many of the people that are with us today are you? Let us know if you're a member of a mastermind group. And if you're not, why you haven't joined. So our next open enrollment will start October 2nd, and it will run for 2 weeks. Again, it's an hour commitment a month. We're also looking for leaders. Last year at this time, I kind of put out a challenge to get 10 groups. So right now we have 6. So we'd like to see, everybody join so we can get 4 more. But I'll get what I can take. As far as leading a mastermind group, it's more like herding cat, not necessarily, I don't want to say herding cats, but it's just keeping everybody on task, arranging for the Zoom call, and then sending out reminders to everybody when the meeting is. There's really no leadership type role where you have to create an agenda or typically run the meeting. Initially, you might need to just kind of pop in and make sure everybody's participating. If you notice somebody that's not answering any questions or adding any feedback, asking specific questions of that one, so that everybody feels that they are part of the group and welcome to make their own comments, because that's the whole point of the mastermind group, is to get together and share ideas across all areas. And mastermind groups, there's no titles. Nobody's above anybody else, and not that necessarily that we are any other way, but it's all about the camaraderie and the sharing of ideas. Let's see here. Atomic Habits is the book that was recommended. Who was that by? By James Clear. I'll have to check that one out. Sue Quimby is a member. Vicky Harmon loves her group. I love my group. I'm in Brenda's group, so
One of my groups.
I'm in one of Brenda's group. I'm not in both of them. I do have some time constraints, but let's see here. Fall Mastermind enrollment is October 2nd through the 18th. A link is in the chat box for that. Does anybody else on the panel have any other comments about why people should join a mastermind group or lead a mastermind group?
I can make a couple comments about the group that I lead. And the only reason I'll call it that I lead it is that I'm using my WebEx as the platform to host the meeting. Not everybody loves that particular type of technology. So that's a warning to anyone that wants to lead, is you need to have the availability of some form of technology that we can use for the sharing platform, whether it's Zoom or WebEx or Meets or whatever your company allows you to use, or whatever you have personally to use. But what we did in our group, we decided on the frequency of when we would meet and the dates and the times, and we set it for once a month on a particular date and time, Eastern time. And we have people in our group from all across the country. So, somebody's having breakfast while I'm having dinner type of time frame. So we have to deal with that a little bit. But it does eliminate the geographic constraints, and I really love being involved with all these people. My last meeting that I had with my mastermind group was last week, and the participant that was able to attend was actually calling in from Ireland. And she is house sitting out in Ireland, and she decided to join me. And she was the only one that was able to join at that time. But we had a great chat about all kinds of things between travel and what she was doing there. But also, she's on another task force, and she shared with me some of the ideas that they've been bouncing around, and I really loved that. So it wasn't really what we were planning to talk about, but it ended up being a great session, even at that. So we talked about different things, and I tried to use an icebreaker as part of being the leader of the group. I tried to use that to get people to know each other a little bit, and that was fun to do. And then we talked about what we could do for a theme each month, if that would be useful to the meetings. We did come up with a name for our group. You can name your group if you want to. My first group was WOW, and my second group is WWW. So, and I can share with you that we were all women in our group, so we were the wonderful, wondering women. That was what we came up with. And let's see, we've talked about the weather. We talk about that even today. I think there's some kind of a hurricane brewing in Florida. And we've talked about some of the things in the association. So, a lot of different things that we've had in our sessions.
Someone mentioned in the chat of maybe having facilitate an ACR group, sort of a study group. I think that's a pretty cool idea for those people that might be interested in that, either ACR or the CLPA, kind of a self-study together. That's a different take.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So we've got
do
a
have-
question.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
we've got a
about to say.
question. Yeah, question in the chat from Linda about how a group gets formed. Basically, once we get the open enrollment done, there's a place in the enrollment form that says, asked if you would like to be a leader. We take a look at the number of people that have requested to join and how many new members there are, how many members are looking at switching groups. And based on those numbers, like I said, we like to keep the groups right around 6 to 10 members. So as we get to a point where we're getting past those guidelines, we then look to form another group and reach out to those people that indicated that they would like to be a leader. So the more people that sign up, the more groups we get.
We have another comment about California after hours. I do want to mention when you go through the enrollment process, it does give you the ability to select your time zone, because some people really do need to meet after work and cannot meet during the day. So we are sensitive to that when matching the groups.
Yes, all of that is part of the enrollment form. When you would like to meet, if there's a certain topic, or if you want to be a leader, that type of thing. All right. I don't see any other questions in the chat. All right. Does anybody else have anything to add? If you can't tell, I'm really excited about mastermind groups. I took a chance and decided to be the leader of a group when they first came out. And it's one of the best decisions I have made. Your mastermind group typically has a wide range of people, time zones, experiences, that type of thing. I know Janelle put in her blog that we were walking buddies in Orlando and ended up in the same mastermind group together, and now we're on the CEC together. So that helped us get to know each other a little better, learn each other's style, and we definitely work well together. So, who knows, maybe something like that is in your future, and your mastermind group can help you towards that path.
I'm actually curious to know if anyone has met people for the first time at convention that was in their mastermind group. They've only met them in these Zoom boxes, and then they finally got to meet face to face. Oh, Regina, you did. Cool.
I did. I had not met Carrie Woods in person, and so was able, I ran into her at the breakfast line one morning, and I heard her talking, and then I was able to connect who she was. And so yeah, it was funny. We chuckled about that.
I think some of the mastermind groups tried to get together at convention. The time frame was kind of restrictive this time around, but just touching base with people that you met in a box and to see them in person, it's really exciting, I think. I love meeting people anyway, but you know, again, I wish retirees would be more involved. There's so much you can learn, so much you can do as a retiree, and this mastermind would be an absolute advantage for you. Kind of keeps you connected with not only the industry, because you're going to have some topics in that mastermind, one way or the other, that's going to lead back to what we do as, or what we did as a living. But you're able to network with people across the country. So I think that's exciting.
It's a great social connection for the MALs as well as the retirees, I think. And as I near retirement myself, I'm fearing that what I'm going to miss out is all the people that I'm around every day at my job. And this organization has provided me with a lot of friends that I feel like I'm able to participate through whatever we're doing, whether it's mastermind or a task force or the conventions, and just being involved and participating. And I always learn something. That's one thing. I always learn something that I didn't know, and I hear different perspectives about things, and I learn about different places. Ones that we talk about, people traveling or things like that. It's got me in a little bit of a travel bug that, oh, I want to join. I want to go on one of those trips that they're taking or something like that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone's input, and I hope everyone else that is attending today or sees us on the YouTube channel is excited as I am for the next enrollment session for masterminds.
Absolutely. And as a reminder, that will start October 2nd, and it will be in your October Connections e-newsletter. And then Ashley did pop a direct link into the chat that is the link that'll become active in the newsletter on that day. So if you missed it for whatever reason, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to send it along again. But do mark your calendar for our next education opportunity, which is actually scheduled for Saturday, September 28th. Region 4 will present an ACR virtual ethics and client relations from 1 to 3 p.m. And then on Wednesday, October the 9th, you will have an opportunity, thanks to Region 5, to take Train the Trainer from 7 to 9 p.m. This course is designed to certify individuals who want to teach IAIP courses. So now is the time to take that next step in a new direction and just increase your abilities to facilitate IAIP education and become one of our certified trainers. So be sure and review the IAIP community calendar on a weekly basis. I feel like we are adding all the time new opportunities for our members to take advantage of the education. And thanks to many of our regions, they are actually doing a wonderful job of helping us support those efforts. And then additionally, we also want to make sure we mention that a lot of these educational opportunities have been made possible by the NAIW Legacy Foundation and the support from donors like you. Now I sound like I'm on a PBS commercial, but it is the truth. We couldn't do what we do unless we had members like you. So this concludes our session, and I thank you all very much for being here today. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.